but I feel like this Yankees team is special. And I've said this to many people now. The Yankees either lose in the wild card game or they win the championship.
So that's why I have the Mavs winning in 7, and then Luka's just going to be Luka.
And you can quote this on me. There is no way the Orioles or Red Sox make the playoffs this season. Yeah, yeah. There's no way. There's no way.
And then the Oilers versus the Jets. Jets haven't been playing well. Oilers, you got a great offense with Connor McDavid. So I have them sweeping them.
I have the Twins winning the division. I just think this team can hit it. I think they had the most home runs in a season ever in 2019. They were just edging out the Yankees at the end of the season.
Yeah, and as a Cowboys fan, I have learned how dangerously good Aaron Rodgers has been with he can just thread a pass.
I just feel like the Wild are going to win this series also in 7 games.
It was really difficult, but I have the Minnesota Timberwolves. I like the addition of Anthony Edwards. They brought back Ricky Rubio. The Cardinals, I just don't think they do it. What's up, y'all? Welcome to our Halloween episode. Happy Halloween, as we drop this on Halloween. So in honor of it being Halloween, let's talk about the scariest players, past and present, in the NHL, NBA, NFL, and MLB. And scariest past and present, those are the options. And this is personal to us. Who is the scariest? Let's just say NHL. Scariest position player. Who is yours, Austin?
Mario. Has to be Mario. Mario Lemieux, one of the greatest players ever. And I would be inclined to put Gretzky here, but Mario, he could have been Gretzky if he stayed healthy. He's one of the greatest, and if I was a Bruins fan during that time, man, would I be terrified of some Mario.
Mine's a personal player, personal sort of. It's Pat Maroon because of what he did to the Dallas Stars and how he's won 3 championships. And just like, I think if I were going to play Pat Maroon on the ice, I would be very scared of getting hit by him. So that's my player. And then my goalie, I'm sticking with a teammate of Pat Maroon, and it's Vasilevsky. It's just Vasilevsky. He's so good. And when he played against the Stars couldn't get much past them for a while. So who is your goalie?
So my goalie is the Dominator. You know who the Dominator is?
No.
Dominic Hasek, the Dominator. He won 2 championships with the Red Wings. He was on that Sabres team that lost in '99 to the Stars, but he's the greatest goalie ever in my mind. The Dominator is definitely a scary goaltender. If you're in a do or die game, I would not want to play the Dominator.
I will take your word for it. Now let's go to the NBA. So I have a player and a team. Do you want me to name the player or the team?
Name both. I have a player in a team too.
They're from the same era. Team 1988 Pistons. Because, of course, Jordan rules. Scary.
I would say, you mean 88, 89?
88, 89, yeah.
Okay, I'll buy that because that was the year they won the first championship, yeah.
But just having to face that team and trying to go up for a layup or trying
Let me
to do
assume who
something,
your player is. Is it Bill Laimbeer?
Or just any of them. Just them as a team. If I'm going to go for a layup, I'm probably going to break something. And then, so that's why they're my scariest team. Then player is Michael Jordan. Because if I do something against Michael Jordan, he is going to make it his, whenever I face him again, if it's just on the street, he's going to do something. Because we, of course, you haven't watched Last Dance.
No.
Have you heard the story, though, about I'm pretty sure it's the Wizards player and how he put like 50 on Jordan or something?
I think I know what you're talking about.
And how Jordan made up in his mind, then he said, hey, good game. And then Jordan puts 50 on him in like the first half. You gotta watch Last Dance. That's why if I do something, Jordan that's why he's like the GOAT. He's the GOAT because he finds one little thing that just annoys the heck out of him, and he will make it a mountain. And that's the same thing I bet you could say for Tom Brady. Like you and I've talked about this off air. Tom Brady, I think just like he doesn't hate Eli Manning, but I think he just associates Eli Manning with those
with
two Super
losing.
Bowls,
With losing.
with losing two Super Bowls and almost coming close to being the second undefeated team ever. And Eli Manning was the reason that didn't happen. So I think just when you deal with competitors like that, that's why Michael Jordan is the scariest player for me. What's your team and player?
So we agree on the Pistons, but not the 80s Pistons slash 90s Pistons. Mine are the 03, 04 Detroit Pistons, one of the greatest teams of all time, best defensive team of all time in my mind. Uh, man, if I'm driving and I see Ben Wallace in the paint, I'm passing out. I'm passing out and praying uh, that one of the great perimeter defenders, whether it's Richard Hamilton, Chauncey Billups, Tayshaun Prince, they actually also had the other Wallace, Rasheed Wallace. Scary team. I would not want to face that team. They gentlemen swept one of the greatest teams ever assembled in that 0304 Lakers team with Karl Malone, Gary Payton, Kobe, Shaq. They had everybody on that team, and they just gentlemen swept them, and they were lucky to even win a game. And the Lakers during that series never scored 100 points in one game. You know why? It was the scariest defense ever, and in my opinion, the scariest team. Now for player, I'm gonna go on fire Clay because if Clay is hot, he's not missing, and that's a big issue, huge issue. If Clay is hot, I'm terrified. We're losing the game. We're losing. We're losing the game. We lost. It's over. We lost. It doesn't. It doesn't matter who's guarding him. It doesn't matter because Clay's going to go for 60 in 3 quarters in 25 minutes of playing time and just say, "I won us the game." We saw it against the Thunder in the playoffs. We've seen it against the Kings in the regular season. We've seen it multiple times. If Clay is hot, I'm terrified. If he is that Clay, if he is when he comes back, if he gets hot again, he can do some special stuff that I've never seen before ever done on the basketball court. So my answer for scariest player, on fire Clay.
That's solid. Remember, I think yesterday was the anniversary of his 14 3-pointer game, only in 3 quarters.
Yeah, against the Bulls.
Yep. So good timing there. So now let's go to the NFL. I'll go with, so we could choose an offense. I chose an offensive player, and that's Derrick Henry. I, I, I remember you sent me that clip where Darius Leonard just flies off him. It's like, and Darius Leonard is like 200 something pounds, NFL defensive rookie of the year, and that is a grown man just flying off him like a I don't know. It was just, you should look up the clip, and he just flies off Derrick Henry, and I am nowhere close to the ability, and just if I had to if I ran into Derrick Henry, it's probably like stainless steel, and that's why he's the scariest player. And then you even add the stiff arm, gosh, and he's the same height. It just amazes me how incredibly gifted Derrick Henry is, and just what he can do on the foot, and he's so fast too.
He's a freak of nature. He
He's,
is.
I just can't. That's why he's the scariest player. Like, imagine, well, people have to do it for a living. Like, you have to go up and tackle him.
Attempt. Try.
You got, well, yeah, they've tackled him sometimes, but it's like 50 people. It's like 5 defenders. Just like, and the Chiefs couldn't do anything against him. He also passed against the Chiefs, so he's my scariest player on the offensive side. And then, should I say defense, or do you want to go offense?
I'll go offense. Um, Calvin Johnson. Easy. Easy. 4 people guarding him, it doesn't matter. Calvin's going to come down with it. The play of the Lions for 4 years there was so we are either kneeing it down or we're passing it to Calvin Johnson. And it's going to Calvin Johnson, or it's going to Calvin Johnson, or it's going to Calvin Johnson. And then Calvin Johnson, most of the times, came down with the ball, ended up getting the most receiving yards ever in the season. And if I was facing Calvin Johnson, I would be terrified. I don't care who's guarding him. No one can guard Calvin Johnson.
Yeah, that's a very solid choice. Um, so now defensive wise, I'll go 2013 Legion of Boom. That's right, 2013, right?
Yep.
Cam Chancellor. He's one of the reasons. Then you have Richard Sherman. Then you got Earl Thomas. You got Bobby Wagner, KJ Wright, who's another. A Cliff Averill was on that team. Michael Bennett. That defense, they just tore my heart when I was watching that Super Bowl because I was so rooting for the Broncos, and people are like, number one defense versus number one offense. And that's when I learned if I want to have a great offense or defense, I'm going great defense if I'm the coach. And they are just so scary. It's because you got Cam. Oh my, those playmakers and what they could do, and then just the freak of nature Cam Chancellor was. Even then, and then, like later on, you'd have him hopping over the field goal unit twice and blocking it. It's just crazy. So, what's your defense?
So my defense, it just has to be. And now this is close. There's a lot of great defenses out there. We all know that. There's the 1985 Bears. That was a great defense. But I'm going to go with the 2003. This wasn't a championship team. It wasn't. But the 2003 Baltimore Ravens. This was a prime Ray Lewis. They had Chris McAllister. They had Peter Bulware. They had Adalius Smith. They had Ed Reed. Obviously, Ray Lewis. All one, two, three, four, five of those guys were Pro Bowlers. They they didn't win a championship, but that was the offense's fault.
Yeah, because they lost their quarterback in 2002. I'm pretty sure, or he
Yeah, they were
left.
starting Kyle Bowler and Anthony Wright. Like they were not getting the best offensive performance. But when you have a prime Ed Reed and Ray Lewis and all of these other guys combined, oh no was occurring. Oh no. Now I could have gone 2000 because they won the championship where they had Rod Woodson, but I think Ed Reed's better than Rod Woodson. Also, they had more Pro Bowlers in this one, so it was close. But 2003 Ravens are my choice.
That's very true. Like Ray Lewis, and then Ed Reed, very good choice. Now we go on to the MLB. One hitter, one pitcher, and then one team. So I'll go with my pitcher. It's Nolan Ryan. While he pitched for such a long time, he can also, if you try to charge the mound, he's going to punch you in the face. So that's why he's my scary player.
For my pitcher, it's really close between two Yankees pitchers, Chapman or Rivera. I'm going to go with Rivera because if you are a lefty bat, your bat's going to be broken, and that is going to shatter into pieces, and you're going to have to go get a new bat. Also, there's about a 0% chance you get a hit anyway. So if the game was on the line and I saw Rivera out there, I might as well just head back to the dugout.
That's a solid choice. Now, hitter, Jose Bautista.
That has some personal implications.
Some personal implications, many personal implications. And the thing is, I did not go to that game when he got punched in the face. I gave the tickets to a family member, and they were there. So I missed that iconic moment. But he's a scary hitter, man. That bat flip. That's all I got to say. So that's my scary hitter.
uh That's a good one. That's a good one. I didn't think of Jose Batista. I like Batista. Batista is one of my favorite players. I like that. That's a really good one. Um, my scariest hitter has to be prime Ryan Howard. So I could have gone with Barry Bonds, but I wanted to stay with away from the steroids to complete the. I wanted to be unbiased, and I don't think Ryan Howard took steroids, but this has some personal implications too. Obviously, Ryan Howard performed well in the World Series against the Yankees. Luckily, the Yankees won. But Ryan Howard could rake, could rake in his prime. And if I'm pitching it, especially if I'm a righty, I would just rather intentionally walk him if he's still in his prime.
That's a very solid choice as well. Yeah, I think you. I thought you would have liked the Jose Bautista. Now here's my offense: the 2018 New York Yankees, just because they could hit bombs, even though they were just crazy. I'm thinking of the right Yankees team, right? This is
Are,
with Stanton, Judge.
yeah, yeah. I mean, Stanton was out for a good portion of that season, and I don't think he was there for the playoffs. But I understand your point. Yeah, they were a scary team, and while healthy, not many teams have compared to everything they could do. Obviously, I'm going to choose the 1998 Yankees greatest team of all time. When you see Posada, Jeter, Tina Martinez, Paul O'Neill, Andy Pettit, Mariano Rivera, the answer is like every good player like ever was on that team, and I would be brutally terrified. Um, yeah, I'm. It's scary just to think facing that team, and I would not wish that upon any baseball team because they will lose.
Yeah, that's very true. So now that concludes our. Well, let's right off the top of your head, scariest moment, any sport,
Okay,
personally.
I got something after this too to ask you,
Okay,
but scariest moment, I'm gonna go with like you're scared to lose, and then it comes back and like saves it, or like just moments where you're terrified about what's about to.
like the moment where you are terrified. I think I have one that fits for me. Do you want me to
Okay,
go?
yeah, you go.
I'm probably going to say the Aaron Rodgers throw to Mercedes Lewis because I thought the count. I'm like, we got it, and
Oh no,
then
you're thinking about Jared Cook. That was Jared Cook.
That was Jared Cook. Okay, I wasn't sure. I was thinking about it. I was like, dang, that's another good catch by Lewis.
Yeah, that
But
was Jared Cook. But
Jared
I know,
Cook.
yeah.
Okay, but I think that's probably the most terrifying when that just
Um,
happened because it just deflated, and then you kick the field goal.
so my scariest moment. Let me think. This is tough. Um, I'm gonna have to say, uh, whenever Craig Kimbrell was up for the Red Sox in 2018 when the Yankees lost to them in the postseason, he was up and he was playing well, and I'm like, we lost. I was just like, there's almost no chance we get enough hits here, especially with how injured we were. So I'll go Kimbrell during 2018.
Okay. All right. What's your question for me?
So what is the scariest player in the history of sports? For the sports we cover, we've named a lot of players here, a lot of teams. Can you name one player that you think you'd be most terrified on, no matter what sport you're playing? I definitely got one. I can go first if needed.
Yeah, you go first while I think about this.
My answer is Lawrence Taylor. He was the
Oh, that's such a
definition.
good one.
He's the definition of menace to society. If he's on the field, you're about to get rocked. I would be terrified as a QB running back. Anyone who's about to get hit by him, I would be terrified. So my answer has to be Lawrence Taylor.
Oh, I'm trying to think. Historically, who would I? Oh, man, I might go. You know what? I'm going to say, I'm going to go Aaron Donald now. Or maybe JJ. I think I might go Donald because just seeing, like, I think Donald's like 300 pounds.
I don't know if he's 300. I don't think he's 300. I'd go 275.
Okay, let's see. Oh, he's 284.
Yeah, yeah.
JJ Watt's 288. But I'm probably going to go Aaron Donald. I don't know how linemen do it. Like I think he can just he'd probably throw me off like a rag doll. It's like, um, I've just been watching a Superman show, so it's probably like Superman playing football and then just pushing someone, and he just goes flying. Like I think that'd be Aaron Donald against me. It's just how fast he is. Like, have you seen the interview with DK Metcalf
Yeah,
and
yeah,
Aaron Donald?
yeah,
And DK Metcalf is like, "What? You bench how much?" So I'm probably gonna go Aaron Donald. Yeah,
That's a good
I'm just
answer. That's a good
yeah.
answer. I'd probably
Lawrence
between
Taylor
him
is
and
good.
Watt, I'd be more scared of Watt because Prime Watt would sack you like every other play. But Donald is just as if Donald was on the outside, which he's not, I feel like he'd be even more terrifying. But because they put him in the middle so that he can stuff runs as well,
I think he's more terrifying in the middle.
I don't know because you're not going to be blinded like blindsided like you would be
That's what
with
makes it scarier. Like you see him coming, and he's just in your face. It's
I. But you
one,
could always
two,
avoid it,
boom.
especially if you're fast. You could avoid it. The issue is with the blindside hit is that you're
That would
looking
hurt.
and then you get jump scared by JJ Watt. If I want to put it in scary movie terms, you get jump scared by JJ Watt. But both are absolutely terrifying. Two of the best defensive players all time, and obviously mentioned
And
Lawrence
then
Taylor.
Taylor,
Yeah,
Taylor's of course.
another great.
Ray Lewis is up there.
Yeah,
Just if you're a wide receiver,
Sean Taylor. Sean Taylor.
oh, that's a good
Rest in
one.
peace. He's one of my favorite
Yeah,
players ever. Uh, terrifying for safety. A
yeah,
lot of good football players, especially in all sports. People I'd be terrified to face.
yeah. Well, that concludes our Halloween themed episode. Let us know what you think about it. Should we do more holidays themed episodes? Let us know what you think in the comments. Thank you for listening to Outsiders Opinions.